My family chose my brother's tournament over my biggest achievement, so I disappeared from their lives. 1 year later, my name was on Forbes' 30th under 30, and my brother discovered it in a dentist's waiting room, calling our dad in shock asking, "How did she pull this off?" Hey there, Reddit. I'm Maya, 28F, and if you've ever felt invisible in your family, trust me, I get it. Let's rewind a bit. Last year, I was busting my chops in college and grad school, pulling all-nighters, working 2 part-time jobs, and spending my weekends in the lab while everyone else was out having fun. Finally, after years of sleep deprivation and losing my sanity, I was up for a citywide award honoring young women in STEM. My boss was ecstatic, my colleagues were bringing flowers, and even the mayor was set to present the award. It was the kind of moment you dream about as a kid, hoping your parents would finally see you. I sent them an invitation months in advance and even printed the program to make sure they didn't overlook it. My younger brother, Ryan, 24, messaged me, "Congrats, sis. So proud of you." He even asked what I'd wear. For a second, I thought maybe they'd actually show up for me like they always did for him. But the night before the ceremony, I called home to confirm their plans. Mom answered, sounding distracted. "Well, Maya, there's been a change. Ryan's soccer tournament got pushed to that same day, and he's the captain, you know." I could hear Dad yelling about snacks and making sure Ryan's lucky jersey was clean. "We've got to back Ryan up. This is way too important for his future." "There will be other awards, honey," Dad said, brushing it off as if it wasn't a big deal. I just sat there clutching my phone, staring at my reflection in the dark window. That familiar sting hit me, the heavy feeling of being an afterthought in my own family. The next day, I stepped onto that stage, scanning the crowd for my family. My co-workers were waving. My best friend was practically bouncing in her seat, but as for my family's seats, empty again. After the ceremony, my phone buzzed. "How'd it go?" Mom texted, treating it like casual small talk. Seconds later, Ryan sent a photo of him scoring 2 goals, celebrating with no mention of my award. "Not a single, we're proud of you." That night, I hit a breaking point. I was done. Done chasing scraps of attention. Done pretending I mattered to people who only noticed me when things needed fixing. I quietly blocked the family group chat, muted their calls, and started fresh in a new city. I didn't even tell them I was moving. For a year, there was total silence. No awkward dinners, no one-sided birthday calls, just peace. I dived deep into work, traveled solo, and made friends who actually cared. I started feeling like a real person again, not just the responsible daughter or family babysitter. A few months later, while I was working late in my apartment, my phone rang with an unknown number. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something urged me to answer. "Hi, is this Maya Patel?" a woman asked. "Yes, speaking," I replied. She sounded thrilled and said, "This is Lauren from Forbes. I'm just confirming some details for our 30 under 30 feature. You've made this year's list. Congratulations. Have you seen it yet?" I nearly dropped my coffee. For a second, I thought it was a prank. I had to ask her to repeat herself twice. But it was real, my name in that magazine. And this is where my Reddit story really kicks off. Things were pretty quiet after that, but honestly, I loved it. I threw myself into work. My new friends even threw a little celebration when they saw the Forbes post on LinkedIn. My manager brought in cupcakes, and people from my old university reached out to congratulate me. It was surreal, like it was happening to someone else. But my phone? Silent. My parents and brother had no clue. I didn't post about it on Facebook, didn't tag them, and the old group chat remained blocked. I figured they were just busy living their lives. Ryan was probably still busy with his next big break. I thought maybe I was finally free from the past. Then about 3 weeks later, my phone buzzed with a number I hadn't seen in over a year, Dad's. I let it ring. A minute later, another buzz. This time it was Ryan. All caps, no punctuation. "Maya, what the hell? How did you get on Forbes?" There was a flurry of calls after that, but I didn't answer. I watched those missed calls pile up as if they thought sheer persistence would somehow make me respond. I later learned from mutual friends that Ryan had been at the dentist's office, flipping through a magazine while waiting, and there I was, my face, a full-page profile with the headline, "Changing the Future of Tech." He nearly fell out of his chair and called Dad from the dentist's lobby. Apparently, Dad went pale, and Mom began frantically Googling. The family group chat blew up for the first time in months. Suddenly, the daughter, who was always too busy or just average, became the talk of every cousin, uncle, and family friend. My still-blocked phone was flooded with voicemails. I received a half-dozen "We're so proud of you" emails, as if I was the one who just scored the winning goal at Ryan's soccer game. But I didn't respond. This time, I didn't need their applause. The validation I craved for years didn't matter anymore. And just like that, my family, who had never shown up for me, suddenly realized what they had missed. Once the Forbes feature dropped, it was as if the floodgates had opened. Out of nowhere, relatives who had ignored me for years filled my inbox with messages saying how proud they were, always ending with, "Let's catch up soon. By the way, my son is looking for a job. Any chance you could help?" Even distant cousins hinted that maybe I could mentor their kids or have a chat with someone at my job. But my parents and Ryan ramped it up. Dad left me a bunch of voicemails, some awkward, others pushing for favors. "Maya, call me back. We need to talk. Your mom and I are thinking of starting a business. Maybe you could help us out." Another one. "Did you know Ryan's team is going to nationals? He's trying to figure out his next step. Could you connect him with someone in your company? With your name in Forbes, doors will fly open." Mom tried guilt first. "It hurts that you didn't share this with us, Maya. Families help each other. Don't you remember who supported you when you were starting out?" Then she pivoted. "By the way, your cousin Priya is looking for an internship. Any chance you could put in a good word? She always looked up to you." Ryan sent a long text about how proud he was, but quickly added, "Think you could help me get a marketing internship at your company? My boss would love having a Forbes sibling on staff." It was dizzying. Growing up, I was always second place, expected to watch from the sidelines. Now, it felt like my success was their ticket to opportunities, not about me as a person, just what I could do for them. For a moment, I thought about responding. Old habits die hard, and part of me wondered if this was finally my chance to win them over. But I quickly remembered the empty seats at every ceremony, every sarcastic "Sorry, Maya, your brother needs us," and all the family photos I wasn't in because they were cheering for someone else. So, I let the messages pile up unanswered. I didn't send any resumes or pitch their business ideas. Instead, I took my real friends out for dinner, raised a glass, and toasted to those who'd always had my back when nobody else did. Mutual friends later told me that Ryan was furious, claiming I'd forgotten where I came from. Dad vented to anyone who would listen about ungrateful kids. But I didn't feel guilty. Not anymore. For the first time, I understood I wasn't responsible for making them proud or for saving them. Before long, the family's tone shifted from proud to pushy. Dad moved from awkward voicemails to direct requests. One day, he left a message with a business idea. "I've sent you a draft proposal, Maya. If you could just pass it to one of your big CEO friends, we'd really appreciate it. You know we always believed in your potential, kiddo." Then Mom's emails became little novels. She started reminiscing about how close we used to be and how family always forgives. Then came the requests. "We're so happy for you, darling. Did you see Priya's resume? She's really hoping for that internship. She worked so hard. You know how tough it is out there. It would mean so much if you could help her." Not to be outdone, Ryan bombarded me with texts. The first few were awkward attempts to reconnect. "Hey, sis. Wild to see you in Forbes. So proud of you. Want to grab lunch?" But then it shifted to transactions. "Could you put in a word for me at your company? Or maybe introduce me to that reporter. I could use some press for my coaching business." Followed by the guilt trip. "Honestly, I don't get why you're shutting us out. Family helps each other. Or is it all about you now?" What hurt the most wasn't just the requests. It was how they never apologized. It felt like my worth only existed in the opportunities one could hand out, not in the person I'd become. They never mentioned all the birthdays, ceremonies, or the day I left for college alone. About a week before Thanksgiving, I heard a knock at my door just after dark. I froze. My building has secure entry, so someone must have let them in. Peeking through the peephole, I saw Ryan fidgeting next to Dad, who was holding a wilted bouquet and a manila folder. I opened the door just a crack. Dad jumped right in. Maya, sweetheart, can we come in? We just want to talk. Families should stick together, right? Ryan added nervously. We're really proud of you. Seriously, we've all made mistakes. Maybe we can start over? I brought your favorite cookies. I let them in. They settled on the edge of my couch, darting their eyes around. Dad slid the folder across the coffee table. I just need your opinion. It's about some business stuff, nothing too big, but it'll really help us out. You've got so many contacts now, Maya. Ryan chimed in. Yeah, I know things got weird, but Mom's been stressed. She keeps saying you should come home for the holidays. She misses you. We all do. I finally spoke up. Did any of you ever miss me before I was in a magazine? Silence fell. Dad stared at his shoes. Ryan just shrugged. I continued, my voice shaky. It's not about the business, jobs, or resumes. Not once did anyone ask if I was okay or happy, or if I needed anything. I begged for your time, your support for years. I begged you to come to my award ceremony, and you chose a soccer game instead. Dad cleared his throat. His face turned red. We were just trying our best. It's not easy being parents. I softly responded, maybe not, but I'm done begging. I'm not here to save everyone now that it's convenient. They sat there for a few moments, fidgeting with the folder and bouquet, hopeful I'd cave. I didn't. Eventually, Dad stood up, forced a half smile, and said, if you change your mind, you know where to find us. Ryan mumbled, see you around, Maya, as they left. I watched them walk down the hall, the bouquet dropping petals along the way, the folder left behind on my table. I felt neither anger nor sadness. For the first time in years, I felt free. I made a big potluck dinner for my friends. No requests, no expectations. Just laughter and genuine connections. One friend even brought the Forbes issue, and we all took turns writing little notes inside the cover, like, you earned this, Maya, and so proud to know you. Your real family. I hung that magazine above the spot where my parents' family photo used to be. I heard from mutual friends that Ryan was livid about my supposed ingratitude, while Dad grumbled about kids these days. Mom called it a phase I'd eventually grow out of. But I knew better. A few months later, I got one final email from Dad. Subject: we're still here. No text, no attachment, just that last attempt to keep the door open. But I didn't reply. I finally found peace. And for once, I stopped apologizing for living my own life.